Goodness gracious. A family traveling through Canada gets quite the scare when this herd runs out in front of the vehicle in front of them. Look at this big old buck get airborne. When he lands back on his feet, you see him go into fight mode, kicking his back legs. Boom, right on top of the car. This clip makes this big boy look a little silly, like he can't jump, but look what the car does. It swerves to the right and stops. I mean, my guy had this measured. We see him slow-mo leap. The car is moved over and then stops. I mean, let's quickly skim through it again. Look at the deer in front of the vehicle. Look how high he gets. I mean, lift off. Miraculously, it looks like no one was hurt in this entire clip. I mean, my big guy's ego, but anyhow, let me know how much you think that guy weighs. He's big. This picture comes from a woman living just outside of Fort Frances near Red Gut Bay, Ontario. Around March, she captured something odd on video near her home. Now, if you're used to the area, it's pretty desolate, so you definitely notice if something looked out of place. She filmed this strange figure deep in the woods. Rocky Mountain Sasquatch editors were able to enhance and stabilize this, and something unusual becomes visible. A tall creature, dark fur, with what looks like to be an extremely long arm and massive hand. I mean, it's not the first time something like this has been spotted in this region, so everyone's guessing Bigfoot. The submitter wanted to remain anonymous, to avoid having people flocking to her property. And I can't blame her for that, because this is a great photo and it's already garnered a lot of attention. This news clip shows a young man rushing into a burning home to save a dog believed to be left behind. According to reports, the place was completely abandoned. No one else was supposed to be inside. But something strange happened. Just inches away from him, a shadowy figure suddenly appears. Pretty easy to miss at first, hidden in the flicker of the flames and smoke. But when we slow it down, there it is. What looks like a woman with her arms outstretched glides past the man. Makes you do a double take. The creepiest part? Again, fire officials later confirmed he was the only human in that house. So who, or what, was standing right next to him? Do we have a spirit, a glitch in the footage, or something else entirely? I don't know what it is, but something is clearly there. I hope this doesn't get taken down, but check this out. I'm going to read you the caption. Inside History writes, horsehair worms are known to manipulate their insect hosts, such as crickets, praying mantises, and other species, by compelling them to seek out water and leap in, effectively causing their own death. This striking behavior is a well-documented example of parasitic control. As the worm matures inside the host, it produces proteins that interfere with the insect's central nervous system, altering its behavior. These chemical signals override the host's instincts, driving it to find a water source and to jump in. Water causes a parasitic hairworm to leave a praying mantis because it is the final stage in the parasite's life cycle and allows it to reproduce. The parasite manipulates the mantis's behavior, forcing it to enter the water, where the parasite then escapes and returns to its aquatic habitat to reproduce. I mean, what in the heck? Unbelievable. On a side note, I mean, how good does that feel getting out of your body, I bet? You might have to go back, but look at the way it loops itself around its tail and kind of yanks itself out of this praying mantis. I mean, there are just so many incredible things in this world. During a routine interview, something strange was caught in the background. At first, it looked like a tree branch swaying in the breeze, but when viewers looked closer, it became clear that this wasn't a part of nature. It was something else, something not quite human. Even after the footage was enhanced, the figure stayed unidentifiable. Its shape blurry, yet unnerving. You can tell that it is most likely a sinister being. Since then, speculation has taken off, but no one has really landed with a solid explanation. I'd love to know your thoughts on what exactly was caught on camera that day. A massive tsunami is destroying the coastline of Japan. As you can see, the destruction is overwhelming. But one man is live streaming the entire thing as it unfolds, and he catches something that's bonkers. In the middle of the chaos, a white figure appears, barely visible through the waves and debris. Look at that thing. What is that? The footage isn't crystal clear, but it's definitely something that I can't pin down. Some are saying it's a hoax, others claim it's real and we just can't explain it. I'm thinking manipulated video on this one. I mean, I'd love for it to be something far stranger, but my brain can't compute. So yeah, let me know what you think. I honestly can't make sense of this one. Fort Hope First Nation has apparently been dealing with something big. Literally. Residents have reported huge creatures throwing rocks and even uprooting small trees near their homes. One of the most chilling pieces of evidence? A photo snapped along the winter road shows a figure, tall and dark, right at the tree line. I mean, if you click the camera 1 second later, this thing would be gone. The sightings haven't been isolated either. Multiple residents have seen two creatures traveling together. One leaves 14-inch tracks, while the other is closer to 19 inches. Locals estimate that the smaller one stands over 6 feet tall, and the bigger one stands more than 8 feet tall. They noted that this type of activity seems to spike around this time of year, with one of the locals mentioning that the drum beats from the Indians might have drawn it in. This next one comes from an unlikely source, a travel show. While filming James May, Our Man in Italy, something strange slipped into the background. James was walking through the ruins of Pompeii talking about the mass graves and the eruption of Mount Vesuvius, when a viewer spotted something odd behind him.
These little openings are things like shot through there is a big posh house, and this would have been incredibly busy at the time of the eruption, teeming with Romans doing Roman stuff. And it probably is worth remembering that this actually is a mass grave.
A faint, almost translucent figure glides through the screen. At first, people thought it was just a bad edit, maybe someone the crew forgot to cut out. But the movement didn't look natural, it didn't walk like a person, it drifted. And check this out. The show's official Twitter account responded saying no one saw anything unusual during filming. There were no edits, and they are just as confused as we are. So yeah, what exactly was that? Was that a ghost potentially tied to the city's tragic past? Now this one, yeah, this one really messes with your head. Filmed during what's supposed to be a lighthearted, love-filled soap opera scene, something appears that absolutely does not belong. A shadowy image, human-shaped, suspended. What's more disturbing is the backstory. According to some viewers, a man allegedly took his own life in that exact spot, many years before the scene was filmed. And yeah, you guessed it, the position of the guy, it eerily matches the way that happened. The producers, well, they've said nothing. No explanation, no denial, just silence. This really makes me wonder what we're looking at here. The way I see it is that this is a cruel joke or prank that slipped past all the editors. Like somebody threw that in there and thought they were going to be funny. The other part of me is pretty convinced that we can't see these spirits or apparitions in our daily lives, but as soon as their camera comes into play, something about it allows them to pick these up. Again, I'm 50-50, drop your theories below, I'm still trying to make sense of it. This next clip, it starts off simple enough, security cam footage showing what looks like a person dressed in white, casually walking through the lot.
Ya apareció este cosa blanca, saca la huevón, mira, y cojea el huevón, ¿ah? Y se desaparece en la pared, ahí se va a meter a la pared. Y plum, se desapareció. ¿Listo?
But then something bizarre happens. The figure's moving, it doesn't stop, doesn't turn. It just walks straight into a solid wall and vanishes. No reaction, no hesitation, gone. Now with this one, I get it. I mean, could this be a camera glitch or some kind of compression error? Maybe. But man, I mean, the timing is perfect and the way the figure just disappears is just off. It was seamless. I've watched it a dozen times and I'm not sure if it's a glitch in the system or something we're not even meant to understand. If you have a theory, let me know. Sightings of Bigfoot around Sutton Lake in central West Virginia aren't exactly new, but they might go back further than anyone thought. According to Andrew Smith, who heads the Braxton County Visitors Bureau, people have been telling stories about a strange, wild man in the area for generations. Old newspaper clippings even mention an ape-like figure roaming the woods, long before Bigfoot became a household name. Smith says reports have poured in from the lake area for years. But it's not just there. Sightings stretch across that region. His personal opinion is that it has a lot to do with the setting. Deep forests, dark skies, and long empty roads. Just the kind of place where something could hide or watch. Whether it's a myth or Bigfoot, Sutton Lake is clearly a hotbed for strange encounters. Taken around the same area in Ontario as the other Bigfoot instances, a man named Boyce from Fort Hope submitted this photo, just asking for thoughts. Apparently, one day later, another local in the same area going by D shared a video showing a fresh Bigfoot trackway in the sand. It leads into a marsh and then disappears into the forest. Similar to one of the other accounts, D also reports that people have seen more than one creature. A pair. Some think that this could also be a juvenile. One resident that was interviewed mentioned hearing strange cries near a campsite. And this was not long after spotting a pair of large prints, 5 feet apart, side by side. One person even tried to recreate the tracks. Funny enough, he couldn't even make a dent in the same hard-packed sand. From what experts have gathered based on the stride length and print size, 14 to 15 inches, it likely wasn't human. You don't say. The resident that heard the cries near the campsite wanted to add that he thinks that is the juvenile potentially wanting something from its parent. YouTuber Maddie Ann and her husband Devin have been hearing strange, unexplainable noises at night, but it's not just them. Turns out, nearly everyone in their neighborhood has been experiencing similar issues. Random damage to cars, sheds, even fences, all happening after the sun goes down. So what does Maddie do? She decides to post a video.
Craziest noises. Listen. I gotta check this out. What the f?
Fast forward a few days later, and one evening while they were relaxing on their porch, the noise returns. Loud, strange.
Can I go inside, please? Please, can I go inside?
Just go inside. I'll look it up.
Hurry up.
Devin heads outside to investigate while Maddie retreats inside. But once again, there's nothing there. Everything kind of settled down and weeks passed without incident, until Maddie discovers something chilling in her backyard.
And I go between this bush and our fence. It's a pretty narrow area.
Whatever it is, walking around barefoot out here in 20, 30 degree weather, it's not warm. 14 inches.
Jesus Christ.
Healed it out.
While hunting deep in the Allegheny National Forest near Warren, Pennsylvania, a man named Bob R. experienced something that would change the way he looked at the woods forever. An avid hunter, Bob says he spent much of his life in the wilderness. On this particular day, he and a friend were several miles in, about 3 miles up a remote logging road. He found a quiet spot to wait for the sun to rise. It was deer season and the forest was still, the kind of quiet only a hunter truly appreciates. Just as the first light began to break through the trees, Bob heard a grunt. Naturally, he assumed it was a deer and immediately went on high alert. But then, nothing. Silence. Not even birds. 15 minutes passed, then another grunt, followed by a low, guttural growl. I looked in the direction of the sound, Bob later explained, and that's when I saw it. But what he saw was no deer. According to Bob, a massive figure stood up from the brush just 75 yards away. It turned its back to him and calmly walked away through the thick undergrowth like it was nothing. His thick fur just repelling the branches, sticks, and leaves hitting his body. He estimates that it stood between 8 to 9 feet tall, with shoulders nearly 3.5 feet wide. It was black, all black fur, he said. I got the hell out of there. Bob admits that at the time, fear took over. But later, curiosity crept in. Bob eventually shared the experience with some close friends. And to his surprise, a few of them had encountered something strange in the woods as well. On the heels of that, they decided to form their own group, the Lake Erie BFRO. We're part of the Pennsylvania Bigfoot Project now, Bob says. I want to find them. I want to be their friend. Interestingly, his kind of story isn't uncommon. According to researchers at Rocky Mountain Sasquatch Organization, many deer and elk hunters describe nearly identical encounters. Sneaking into a blind or tree stand before daylight, only to come face to face with something they can't explain in the early morning hours. So what is it about these forests just before dawn? And are these creatures watching hunters just as closely as the hunters watch for deer? My guy Rick here is convinced that something isn't right in the woods behind his home. Night after night, he's plagued by strange sounds, eerie, unnatural noises that seem to move all around his property. Every now and then when he's on his porch, he catches a glimpse of something, a figure, a shadow. He feels like he's always being watched and that something is close, but he just can't fully see it.
Oh my God, like a gargoyle. It's like a gargoyle, man. And it's like 35 feet away, and it came out of those weeds. You know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. It's a plant.
Left side, or by the right?
Now, if you go into the comments of the original video, you have people wondering, why not call the police? Why not get help? Well, according to Rick, he already has, multiple times. But each time, he says they wrote him off, treated him like he was crazy, wouldn't even look at the video. So here's the question. Was Rick simply just dismissed too quickly, or is there a reason that no one believed him? Let me know what you think. Is Rick just paranoid, or is there something real haunting those woods? Now, what in the heck? I'm not sure how I missed this one. Video taken from New York in 1997 says to show a juvenile Sasquatch swinging in the background, and I'll be damned.
Here to camp, and Kenny's main objective is to burn cans. And if you notice within the fire, and Doug, please get a shot of this.
No one loves an inadvertent Bigfoot capture more than me, so I love this video. We hear the guy talking at the beginning, he's half in the bag, talking about burning cans, yada yada, and all this is going on in the background. I mean, look, clearly something is swinging in the background. So if this is actually taken in New York, we're in business. No primates of any kind are known to live there. I'll kick this one to you guys, but it has me very intrigued. Does anyone know of anything that would debunk this? This might actually be one of the scariest videos I've seen. Let me try to give you a little backstory. Owner Kent Burris has lived in the infamous Lamb House for over 6 years. It's located in Carmel, Maine, and he's documented relentless paranormal activity within these walls. He actually has a YouTube channel named Ghost of Carmel, Maine. It showcases dozens of encounters with what he calls Shadow Dude, a dark entity that seems to stalk the premises. but honestly, that's just the beginning. Ken recently downgraded his EVP equipment after paranormal experts advised him that the older cameras often capture spirits better than the modern ones. Then came this footage, and I don't really know what to say about it.
While I'm walking through the house, I hear these strange sounds and I hear movement throughout the house. And I've already captured an apparition jumping out the window once before, but on this day I turned around and there was something, a strange anomaly in the window. It was just sitting there in the window and it looked like it was moving. I ducked behind around the doorway, not knowing what was going to happen, and that thing took off from the window and went under the bed. Okay, there he is in the window again. Went under the bed. After I viewed the video from this encounter, what I saw in the video looked nothing like what I saw in real time. In real time, it looked like another small shadow apparition sitting in the window. I've captured this 2 times before. One of the captures actually looked like a small apparition jumping from the window.
An apparition that resembles a massive cat. Ken owns a cat but insists that this is something else. Larger, shape-shifting, and behaving nothing like a normal feline. When encountered in person, the entity was sitting in the window and then kind of changed forms and slid down the window and under the bed. The way it morphed suggests something far more sinister than a simple ghost. I don't know what's going on. Some viewers believe we're looking at a skinwalker. Others suggest residual spirits from the building's history as an undertaker's home once owned by Edmund Lamb. Kent's evidence has actually impressed many paranormal investigators, and they've visited and confirmed unusual activity. Now here's the weird part, and let me know what you guys really think about this. Kent has disabled all the comments on his videos, so others can't weigh in. So is it a skinwalker? Is it a shapeshifter? Is it some other type of spirit? I mean, this thing freaks me out, but I find it a little sketchy that old Kent here has disabled comments. What's up with that, buddy? A trail camera used for tracking the animals that use this watering hole for drinking water picked up some very strange sounds. The owner explains that no one has access to this part of their property and they have never heard sounds like this before. On a suggestion, the owner sent it off to a renowned wildlife biologist for voice recognition, but the voice didn't trigger any known species. The expert came back with a declaration of inconclusive. While the owners, they don't necessarily believe in Bigfoot, many are saying that this is exactly what they've captured. The owner of the camera says, quote, "I never really have believed in Bigfoot or ghosts or anything paranormal. I'm curious about what's making the noise and more open to the Bigfoot idea than I was at the beginning. That's for sure." Look at this. Look how cool this is.
What the hell?
Wow.
There's a bald eagle on our deck. Does it want to eat Noki?
It wants probably.
Wow.
It would if Noki went outside. Oh, she's tagged.
She's tagged.
Yeah, look at her leg.
Could she carry our dog away?
Oh, hell yeah, she could.
Oh. Noki, that bird wants to eat you. Oh my goodness, is it crazy?
No.
Do you think it's hurt?
No. Throw her a piece of steak out the other window. See if she'll go after it.
Wow.
Trying to ask what invented the Pope.
Where's my phone? FaceTime somebody.
Yokai are supernatural creatures, spirits, and demons from Japanese folklore. They encompass a broad range of beings from mischievous tricksters to terrifying monsters, and even benign or helpful spirits. However, most of them are not. They come in many different forms, but these guys didn't become famous from being nice. They take the form of shapeshifters, animals or inanimate objects turning into human or monstrous forms. Well, a family thinks they might have caught the latter on camera. Check this out. So tell me, what do you think? Did they catch a yokai? Or do we think we're looking at a camera glitch here? Popular YouTube channel 401 Files. Remote forest, miles from civilization, no roads, no cell service, just trees, wilderness, and, well, something else.
Okay, so I'll just give you a quick tour of my bedroom for the night, what I've built up. I've got all these little sticks to create the perimeter. Got my fire there. My bike, obviously. So I'm going to be sleeping here next to the fire, not too close though, obviously, because I've got an inflatable mattress and I don't want that to blow up. One lesson I've always learned really helps.
The footage starts innocently enough. Birds singing, leaves rustling, distant animal calls. Classic camping content.
I don't know how much of me you can see. Let me show my torch. But can you hear that? Wow, it's a good job I know what the hell that is. Because I would be shitting my pants right now had I not come across that sound before.
First comes the darkness, then the terrifying scream that cuts through the night. Now we heard the screams, but slow, deliberate footsteps circling the tent. Not random forest sounds, something methodical, purposeful. Something that knows he's inside. Hour after excruciating hour passes, the footsteps never leave. Sometimes closer, sometimes further, but always there. Our guy remains frozen. Dawn finally breaks and the forest falls unnaturally silent. That's when he makes his escape, quickly packing and fleeing whatever had been watching him. Would you have stayed put or taken off in the middle of the night? And what do you think was circling his tent? That sucked. A picture-perfect lifestyle. Australian couple living the dream, sailing tropical waters for 4 months, documenting everything for their YouTube channel. In December of 2023, on a remote stretch of Australia's coastline, the couple anchors near a small, uninhabited island for what they thought would be a peaceful night, a nice place for their feet to touch solid ground. The next morning, they head ashore to explore.
Oh man, nothing can really prepare you for that. We were not expecting to find anything like this. This is crazy. This is more bones here. This is a pile of bones. I was checking out that wasp's nest, and below it is a whole stack of human bones. We might have stumbled across
a burial site.
Yeah, something quite sacred here, like a sacred burial site. We were hoping at best to find some Aboriginal cave paintings that we could show our respect to, but I think never expected to see this.
A human skull with bones carefully arranged beside it. Their footage captures the raw shock and confusion. They're not really sure what to expect. Their initial fear was of a crime scene. However, they had a realization that they might have just discovered a traditional Aboriginal burial site. These sacred grounds contain remains preserved through ancient practices where flesh was removed but bones carefully preserved. The couple's reaction? Immediate respect and retreat. The camera barely captures their quick departure as they scramble back to their boat to find another place to anchor up. Yeah, you think? Well, what would you guys have done in their situation? Have you ever wandered accidentally somewhere you shouldn't have been? I don't know what's going on, but this is another clip I found of a creme de la creme Bigfoot video that has been enhanced, and it's the clearest I've seen. I know you guys will recognize this one. This is the Provo Thrower. In December of 2012, a hiker in Provo comes head to head with an aggressive bipedal creature. We see the hairy, muscular build, although in this particular instance, the creature doesn't seem to be that towering tall, but still, massive being. Many enthusiasts are saying that this is an aggressive adolescent male Bigfoot, and I could really see this. What is interesting, something I never picked up in the first video, is that you can really see the moment our beast notices the cameraman. He crests the hill and he tries to squat quickly, unsuccessfully behind this tree. As we see him start to move again, we see him raise up and sidearm sling this rock right at the guy. Of course, this bit of aggression was taken as a not so subtle hint and our guy got the heck out of there. Can't blame him for that. Now, even though this type of behavior is uncharacteristic of many Bigfoot reports, here's how I feel about it. I almost feel like he was embarrassed that he got caught and kind of turned to anger. Just how a teenager might not be able to handle their emotions and lash out. I'm sure we've all had some experience with that. Wink, wink. I really think the Bigfoot had no intention of being seen, got caught up in the moment, kind of just lollygagged out into the open. And frankly, once he knew his cover was blown, he was pissed. He went from trying to hide real quickly to lashing out in anger. I don't know, it's one of the most famous clips, but I love how this one is enhanced and zoomed in. I hope you guys like it. Let me set the stage here. A newly formed, yet-to-be-named wolf pack has been successfully hunting elk on the National Elk Refuge for the past few months. Well, one morning, they decided to cross the Gross Venture River into the Grand Teton National Park, where these bull elk are not like they are over in the refuge.
They got him. Oh, he kicked one. There's two right on. They got them on both flanks. Oh! Oh my god, it's like toying with it. There's three on it. Well, there it goes. There you go. They're coming down. Hunt number 5 today.
Each one of these ended in failure.